Okay, it's saying that we are live, and let me pull up my videos here and just see if we in fact are live. There, it looks like we are. Let's see what the audio sounds like. And R. Wags is in the house, and he's first. So that is a good sign. That is a very, very good sign that R. Wagster is in the house first. So this is another semi-emergency broadcast. I just scheduled this earlier today, and this is in response to an email that I got from Carlos. And so we have a slight pregame show. We're about 4 minutes early on the broadcast. Kyle's in the house. Al's in the house. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about that email that I got from the Carloster. And he sent me an email about these 3 dress watch stunners that Grand Seiko is bringing out. And I do want to thank right off the top Hodinkee. I did use their graphic of the 3 watches. I added some text on it, but I used their graphic. And I hope they don't mind. I did put a link to their article in the description of this video, the article that, in fact, Carlos sent me. So Carlos is looking out for me, and I really appreciate it when viewers and subscribers, and even though I haven't met Carlos in person yet, I'm going to meet him soon. I count him as a friend. When friends give me heads up on things and keep me informed, helping me in the decision-making process. And so we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about these 3 stunners that are coming out, I believe, in June. And I talked to Steve about it, and there's some question as to whether or not he's going to get them or not. He doesn't know yet if he's going to be able to get a hold of them or not. 3 units, a platinum unit, an 18-karat gold unit, and a titanium unit that's a special alloy. And actually, let me switch this article real quick here so you guys see what I'm talking about. It's these 3 stunners right here. And we're going to talk about them in depth. At least we're going to talk about the information that I have at hand. Now, I would also appreciate it if those that are watching live or those that are watching after the fact, if you share in the comments any information about these watches that I may get wrong so that I can update in the description on this video. One thing that's unclear is exactly what the thickness is of them. I've seen 10.2 millimeters. I've seen 10.5 millimeters. I've seen, I think this article says 10.9 or 10.7. Anyway, I've seen different numbers as far as the actual thickness of these watches. So I'm not sure right now what that number is, but in any event, it's under 11 millimeters. So they're definitely thin enough to be used as a dress watch. Now on the 002, the SBGY002 that I've been talking about getting, that one I've seen a number of 10.2. This puppy here, I've seen 10.2 on it, and I've also seen somebody talk about, I think, 10.5 or 10.6. So I've also seen some contradictory numbers on that puppy, but based on the video that I've seen of it on Tim's wrist and him turning his wrist, and I've got another clip here that I'm going to show, it looks like it's pretty thin. So, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and show those here real quick. Let's front load this a little bit. Here's a video from Grand Seiko. Let's play this one first.
Nobody does a dial quite like
I'm sorry,
Grand
this
Seiko,
is timeless.
and this limited edition solid gold variant of the Japanese manufacturer's SBGY dress watch is no exception. Made to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the watchmaker's ingenious spring drive movement, SBGY002 features the gorgeous signature white snowflake dial that we've all...
where it shows the strap.
Nobody does a dial quite like Grand Seiko, and this limited edition solid gold variant of the Japanese manufacturer's SBGY002.
So you can see that when he rolls the switch,
Nobody does a dial
it looks
quite
pretty
like
good,
Grand
but it does bulge out a little bit.
Solid
but I
gold
think that's at
variant
the
of the
point class,
Japanese
that's normal. You're
manufacturer's
going to have a little bit of
SBGY
that.
dress watch is no exception. Made to celebrate...
But my guess is it will still slip under the cuff very nicely. Now, here's another video. This is from Grand Seiko. This has no audio, so this is easier for me to talk over. So this is from Grand Seiko. just, I think, a stunning dial. I think a stunning case shape and design. I think they nailed it with this watch. And of course, this is the 002 that we've been talking about for a while, and that I just got the information from Steve that he's going to be getting 2 in the end of this month. Let me stop this. Hold on a second here. Stop that from playing. Okay. And so let's see. So on the 002, just to recap, that one lists for 25,000. And David's in the house, Jaden in the house. Let's catch up on the chat, and then we'll get right back into this. New York City is home. Okay. Let's see. Coronavirus is being politicized by the left against Trump. Will fail as all other lies and fake news. We got a little bit of politics coming into the chat here. There you go. Okay. Prices on these hot watches. Okay, let's talk about the prices on these right now. And I do have this in the description on this video, but let's go right to it. This is the Hodinkee article that Carlos was so kind to share with me. And so they are celebrating the 60th anniversary of Grand Seiko. And let's go on down here, and you guys can read the article later. I did put a link in the description of this video. I highly recommend you taking a look at it. But you can see here, they're saying this is 38 mils by 10.7 mils, the size of it, right? Which is very acceptable. If that's the accurate number, that's very acceptable. I have heard numbers lower than that. I've heard that they were 10.2 millimeters thick, but I don't know what the actual number is. But again, that's anything under 11 mils, I think, is acceptable for a dress watch. And now here we've got a number here. The original watches, let's see, 3 new models, cases upsized from the original. 38, now here it says 38 by 10.9 mil. So what's this up here? Still going to apply 38 by 10.7 mil. So in this one article, we've got 2 different numbers, okay? So anyway, hopefully we'll be able to get some official numbers somehow, some way. If anybody can get official numbers and put them in the chat, that would be helpful. So let's start with the Platinum model. It's $38,000. Okay, that's this puppy right here. $38,000. Okay, list price. And here's the gold unit. Okay. I'm sure these photos came from Grand Seiko because they look like drawings. They're not even like real photos, so I don't know why Grand Seiko does that. But anyway, here's the gold one is $26,000. So it's interesting that this gold unit is more money than the one I'm interested in, the SBGY002, which I think is a better looking watch. I think they're both stunning. This is a stunning watch too. I'd have to see one in person, of course. But this just has the regular manual wind movement. It doesn't have the spring drive, doesn't have the snowflake dial. I just kind of like the SBGY better, the 002 better, at least my initial thoughts on all of this. Okay, so then we go on down. We've got the titanium. Now this is a special alloy of titanium that's even harder than the alloy that's on my diver. And by all accounts, it's absolutely amazing, and it is $8,000. So it's called the High Intensity Titanium, and that one lists for $8,000. Okay, so that's the 3 that are available. It's the 18 karat gold, yellow gold, the platinum, and the titanium are the 3 ways that these puppies are going to be shipped. So very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Grand Seiko going a little bit up market here. It's interesting that this gold unit is even more expensive, like I said, than the 002 that came out last year. The one I'm interested in came out last year. These are coming out this year. I think I may be getting the watch that I might be getting the better end of that whole deal with the 002. We shall see. We shall see. And as I've said many, many times, I it's not a foregone conclusion that I'm buying the watch. He's getting it. He's going to put my name on it. First right of refusal. I will be there as soon as he gets it in stock. I will see, touch, and feel it. And I will either leave there with a bunch of money in my pocket, or I'll leave there with a watch on my wrist and less money in my pocket. That's how that all works. Okay, for the prices on the watches, we just talked about that. Let's go on to the next comments here. The best 2-watch combo would be the GS Diver along with a new Day-Date 36 all gold, alternating daily to prevent either from stopping. No need for a third watch. Here's the reason that I'm very hesitant to go back to a Day-Date. I had, as you guys know, or probably know, I had Day-Dates for 40 years. And it's not as legible as I would want. Okay, it is a 36 mil watch. Dial is smaller than these watches we're talking about. So there's a legibility issue. And then the big elephant in the room is the accuracy. The accuracy is just not there. And I've gotten really spoiled with these Grand Seiko, the spring drive, that stunner right there with the accuracy of that, and with the accuracy, of course, of the 9F is just ridiculous. So that's the beauty of the SBGY002, is it has the spring drive. So it's going to have the extreme accuracy. And also, if it does stop, if I decide not to wear it for a week or two or whatever, it's very quick and easy to set the time and get it going and grab and go. I don't have to set a day and a date and all that. And now, if I was going to go down to a 2-watch rotation, then yeah, it would be intriguing to think about a Day-Date, but I have no real need to. I can certainly keep the GMT that's on wrist right now as a travel all-around beater watch, if you will, and I can have the diver as my heavy-use diver, and then I can have this this 002 stunner. Let's bring that up on the screen here real quick. I could have the 002 stunner as a very elegant dress watch. And I think that watch is more elegant looking with a suit situation than a Day-Date. Now, Day-Date looks great with a suit too. It does. But I just think this just brings it up a notch and just is a little more elegant. So, there you go. That's my thought process on that. But again, I wore Day-Dates for 40 years, so I mean, I'm not saying a Day-Date is not a good move. It's a fantastic move. It's a fantastic watch for somebody that wants to stay in the Rolex camp, and especially if somebody just wants one watch to wear all the time, and they either have good vision, so the legibility is not an issue, or they wear their glasses all the time so they can read it easily all the time. I'm still kind of in denial where I have these glasses for reading, but when I'm out and about and doing most things, I'm not wearing my glasses. And so, something like that is just super readable in any lighting situation, even when I don't have my glasses handy. I can glance at that very easily and tell the time. It's just insanely legible. So that's been hogging a lot of wrist time because of that. Let's see here. Let's see. I would prefer precious metals on a dress watch. Oh, absolutely. 18 karat yellow gold, I think, is the only way to go, in my opinion, on a dress watch. Period. Full stop. I mean, that's the way to go. 18 karat yellow gold. All in, all done. Okay, so looks great. What looks great? Be specific. We're showing a lot of different things here. Platinum is 800 versus gold at 1600 per ounce. Why buy the platinum watch for way more money? Kyle in the house. When you buy a precious metal watch, not very much of the purchase price is the actual gold itself. One of the reasons why, or the platinum, one of the reasons why they're expensive is it does take more time and effort to work with the precious metals, so more labor involved. Platinum is very difficult to work with because it's so hard, and so again, more labor, more expense there. But a small fraction of the price of the watch is the actual metal in there. Because even a Day-Date, I think, has around 2 ounces of gold at the most. Maybe you guys can double check it, but so obviously it's a small portion of the price is the actual gold that's in there. So, you're not, trust me, when you buy a gold watch, if you just want gold, you'd be much better off just buying gold coins. Buy 1 ounce gold coins. You're going to get a lot more gold for your money. So that's the deal with that. So yeah, platinum's harder to work with, and of course they make fewer of them. So anytime something is they're making less, then their cost per unit is higher. That sort of thing. No economies of scale there. David's in the house. Our wags agree. RE U.S. economy. What did our wag say about the economy that you're agreeing with? Did I miss that? He said audio's great. Where did he comment on the economy? Okay. Let's see. Carlos says, I agree. Based in the photos, the 002 looks better to me. Carlos in the house. Let's see. And I like the new Samurai that came out with sapphire crystal and possibly what looks like ceramic bezel. Okay. Interesting. Maybe Steve can talk about one of those on his next show. Maybe he'll be getting one. And Leah says, hi, Craig and everyone. Okay, hi. And our wags, David Williams, thumbs up. Our wags, I hope you're right. Right about what? What did he say about the economy? I missed that. Bring me up to speed, folks. Let's see. SBGW259 is classic in gold. Okay, so let's pull that up. SBGW259. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the watch we're talking about. Of the three, that's the gold one for $26,000. I don't know why I didn't notice that model number. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's a homage to the older watch. That's what they were trying to do, is basically reintroduce the older style, and I think it looks great. I think it looks great. I just happen to like the 002 a little more. So there's the 258, and let's flip over to the 002, and there's the 002. So, and again, a lot of it is going to depend on seeing these things, seeing it in person. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to see the 258 until June at the soonest. I think that's when they're being released. So if I see the 002 the end of this month and I like it, I'm probably just going to lock and load. I'm not going to wait because Steve's only getting 2. So my guess is if they're as nice as I think they are, he's going to sell 1 to me probably, and that other one will probably sell pretty quick as well. There are, as far as I know, none in the country right now. He's getting the first 2 in the country the end of this month. And there haven't been any for a while in this country. So there were a few spotted in Indonesia, of all places. So there are some kicking around Asia, but there haven't been any in these United States. Not a limited edition watch, but evidently they're not making very many of them at the same time. So there's that. What are the chances that Rolex will ever create their own version of the spring drive, Michael H? I don't know. That's a good question. I think it'd be so cool to have a day-date with the spring drive. That'd be so cool. My gosh, can you imagine watching that secondhand just going around like that on a day-date? That'd be cool. Kyle, aside from the dial on the 002, which is amazing and similar to the Snowflake, I actually like the looks of your last gold GS better, the one that said Seiko at the top. Well, Kyle, it was a gorgeous watch and a gorgeous case shape and all that. 35.5 mils. If that was like more like 37 mils, or something like that, I'd probably still have it on my wrist, to be honest with you. It was a little bit small on my wrist. I'm not a big watch guy, and it looked okay on my wrist, but just a little bit on the small side. And then I had, of course, a subscriber that wanted it, and so it's gone. It's no longer here. So that's how that happens sometimes. But again, I'll have to see this 002 in person to see really what it looks like on wrist. Let's run one of these videos again. Let's run this this wrist roll here again. Okay, you ready for this? Here we go.
Nobody does a dial quite like Grand Seiko, and this limited edition solid gold variant of the Japanese manufacturer's SBGY dress watch is no exception. Made to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the watchmaker's ingenious spring drive movement, SBGY002 features the gorgeous signature white snowflake dial that we've all come to know and love. Painstakingly crafted in the Japanese watchmaker's...
That is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I'll tell you. We'll see what it looks like in person, but it's got the inside track for sure. Let's see here. Jeremy says beautiful watches. Okay, well, let me make sure I'm not missing something here. Jobs report today was amazing. 100K above estimate. Not sure if I've seen that type of performance previously. RY comment is on the first comment on the chart. Okay. So let me see what did the market close at? Yeah, it's still down on the day. The jobs report, the economy, everything's great, man. Everything's great. But my gosh, look at the debt. Look at the corporate debt. Look at the consumer debt, and look at what the Fed is doing as far as easing and lowering interest rates and so on and so forth. I think there's a lot of potential problems on the horizon here, and it may not happen until after the election, hopefully. But I'm looking for a major pullback, at least 30% on equities. I've gone to a lot of cash right now. So, well, I did weeks ago. I talked about that, right? How I went mostly to cash. So things, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see what we shall see. Let's see. Do any of these GS dress watches have lume? No. I have a steel spring drive SBGY002 that I have trouble reading even during daylight hours. Yeah, see, that's one of the reasons why I sold the Snowflake. That exact reason you're talking about there. Legibility, that's where that watch right there shines. I mean, that watch, the hands are so huge. It's not just the fact that it has lume. I mean, the hands are so huge, and they have lume. The dial's huge. I mean, it's just super, super easy to read. It's trade-offs. I mean, you go to a dress watch with a more elegant style and design and all that, you're not going to have large hands. You're not going to have lume. You're not going to, So it's a trade-off. Now, if I'm wearing that dress watch, by definition, I'm out dealing with clients, having a meeting, whatever. I'm typically not looking at my watch anyway, because that would be very rude, right? It's just for style and for show, and occasionally I might look at it, right? But it's not like I'm covering an event and I have to be paying attention to schedules and timing and all those kinds of things. I wouldn't be wearing that watch. I'd be wearing probably that watch. And in that type of a situation where time really is critical and I'm looking at it often and so on, I'm not going to be wearing that dress watch by definition. By definition, the situations where I would be wearing the dress watch are situations where I would, generally speaking, not be looking at the time. So yeah, that's the way that works. and my phone would be on mute. Maybe even in airplane mode. So, let's see. In my opinion, the two new movements, 9S-A5, 9R-A5, are exciting, but the all-new models are rather disappointing. Leia in the house. Some of them are pretty cool. Maybe they're going to come out with some more stuff too. We'll see. I'm pretty impressed with some of the things Grand Seiko are doing. I mean, could they do some other things? Absolutely. So could they come out with a smaller diver that everybody's been asking for? A smaller and thinner diver? Absolutely they could. Could they make some of their other watches thinner? Yes. Now that they've come out with a spring drive movement that is thinner, hopefully that's in the pipeline. That'll be coming. So, you know, let's give them some time. I think they're doing pretty good. It's a GMT, and the second hand is hard to distinguish from the GMT hand. Okay. Mine, this one, I mean, it's pretty clear what the GMT hand is. My GMT hand is red, and the second hand is just, you know, very fine, like silver. Let's get a close-up on this. So I find that this watch is pretty legible for me because, again, most of the time when I'd be wearing this, I either have my reading glasses on or I'm in a decent lighting. If I'm in decent lighting, I can read this fine without my reading glasses. Just like the Date 8 back in the day before I sold it. I could read it if I was in decent light, but if I was in a low light situation, no. All bets were off. I just couldn't tell what the time was. And so, yeah, it can get dicey. But this, remember, this is 38.5 mils, so this one has a larger dial than the Date 8 had, and this one has a, you know, the dark blue dial, so there's a pretty good contrast between the hands and the dial and the indices. Whereas the Date 8 had a silver dial, you know, with the gold hands and all. It really wasn't that much contrast. So, yeah. The pursuit of the perfect watch, a lifelong mission. Oh, boy. But I'm getting close. I'm getting real close. This diver, I mean, there's almost nothing I would change on that puppy. You know, it's just freaking amazing. And this, as an all-around, for an all-around stunner, is pretty good, too. So I'm getting pretty close to perfection here as far as my timepieces go. I recently got the Grand Seiko 25th Anniversary SBGY002 gold and steel quartz 9F. It is running around 1 second a year to my best estimates. Yeah, that's an amazing piece. That's an amazing piece. Let's pull that one up. SBGY002. Let's pull that puppy up. I remember that watch. That was a stunner. Absolute stunner. Steve had one and showed it on one of the shows. Man, that is cool. Okay. That is cool. And some people didn't like it, the fact that it was just a gold bezel, and I guess the indices and the hands are 18 karat gold. Let me know in the chat if that's the case. And they didn't like the fact that it didn't have gold down the bracelet, but I like that. I think it's kind of cool. And in person, it really is a good-looking watch. That's a stunner. That really is a stunner. Let's see what the size of that is. See what the case is. 40 by 10 millimeter. Wow. 40 millimeters by 10 millimeter. Wow, that's nice and trim. That's a nice all-arounder. Heavy use all-arounder. My guess is that has a screw-down crown too. Let us know in the chat. That's a stunner there. Okay. Almost thought that was Horology House. Okay. What about the SLGH002. Let's check that. Okay. Yeah, I think that watch is one of those ones that's a little bit thicker. If my memory serves me, let's pull this up. It's an interesting looking watch. Let's see what the thickness is of it. Let's see if they say. Let's see what they say. Oh, it's 11.7 mils. Yeah, so it's considerably thicker, and it's a 40 mil, so it's bigger. Yeah, I would rather stay with the 38.5 mil and the thinner watch for me, for a dress watch. But for some people that's not an issue and they want a high beat, then absolutely they could go with something like that. Absolutely. Personal balance sheets are better than they were a decade ago. David Williams, generally better. Okay. I thought the consumer debt was higher than ever, but maybe I could be wrong. Okay. Carlos in the house, 002 seems to have great readability considering the case use. Yeah, we're going to see when I see it in person, but it looks like it will be pretty decent from that standpoint. As decent as you can get with a dress watch type of situation. You know, you're only going to, like I say, the hands aren't that thick. They don't have loom on them. So you're only going to get so good. But yeah, I think it will be good enough and serve the purpose. Kyle in house, Craig, what are your thoughts on the SBGX261? Let's check it. Pull this puppy up. It's a heritage. Yeah, I think we've talked about this watch before. Yeah. That's a very affordable. I mean, absolutely. And I think you're going to find that does not have a screw down crown. Now, if that's not a concern to you, then fine. It's nice and thin. It's 37 mil, so it's a smaller. That's a good size for an all-arounder. 37 mil by 10 mil. Yeah, we've talked about this on the channel before. That's, I mean, my gosh, $2,200. That list price. That's a very affordable way to get into Grand Seiko, and you'll probably find some of those on eBay, even at lower prices if you look around. So yeah, that's a good way to get in to the business, and that's going to be something that's going to be accurate and bulletproof, reliable. And as long as you don't swim with it, I mean, if you get caught in the rain or just something, you know, I mean, as long as you're not absolutely submerging it and swimming in it and all, I think it'd be a good all-arounder. So let's see. I went to GS Boutique and tried on the Snowflake and the SBGY002, just too large. I currently wear a 34 mil Air King. Yeah. Hey, if the Air King is doing it for you, of course, Steve would hate to hear me say this, right? My GS AD. Hey, if the Air King's doing it for you, just keep wearing the Air King. All right? You don't need to have a wandering eye here. But now if you feel like you can sell the Air King and get a decent price out of it, and you want to move into a GS, absolutely get one of the smaller ones, one of the smaller GSs. Absolutely. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a whole lot more accurate. That 9F is going to be insanely accurate. You're going to get spoiled real quick by that. And of course, the lack of having to spend any money on maintenance is also a plus. Bracelet total 18 karat gold weight, 68.5 grams. 24 karat gold content is 51.638 grams. The 18 karat content is also mixed with platinum. And as added bonus, the total weight of pure gold is 74.86 grams or 2.41 ounces. Okay. And of course, that's going to depend on the model, right? I mean, obviously, a Day-Date 40 is going to have more gold than a Day-Date 36, and the modern Day-Dates are going to have more gold than the older Day-Dates that had the hollow center links and stuff. So, yeah, it's going to depend on the model, but yeah, anywhere from 2 ounces to probably 2.5 ounces, maybe 3 ounces for a Day-Date 40. I'm not sure, but still, it's a fraction of the purchase price that you're getting in actual gold. So you're not paying, when you buy a luxury gold watch, you're not paying for the gold primarily. You're paying for the labor and all to put that puppy together and to build it, and of course the tremendous markup, the profit. Imagine that, the profit. I'm not sure if the hands and indices aren't gold or just tone. The bezel is 18 karat for sure. Okay. Does not have a screw down crown, but it is rated at 100 meters. Okay. Which means that's fine. I mean, if it's not something that you just swim in a lot and stuff like that, if you're at a pool party and you get all excited and you jump in the pool with somebody or something, and you just end for a relatively short period of time, you're probably going to be fine with any of these modern watches. But I just wouldn't make a habit of, personally, I wouldn't make a habit of swimming with watches that didn't have screw down crowns. Not that the screw down portion is what really makes it waterproof, it's the seals, but the screw down portion is what seats it in exactly the right position so that everything can work in unison to be waterproof to that extent. So I think it helps. Just my feelings on it. Dubro, the economy will be just fine for the foreseeable future with free money on the table. Okay, well, we'll see what happens with all that. And what do you mean by foreseeable future? How far ahead are you looking? Chip, the consensus was at my investment conference was the canola virus will not kill the strong U.S. economy. Well, that's good news. That's good news. Auto loan debt has ballooned. Cliff dweller in the house. Jobs report today was killer, way above estimates. 7-year car loans. Hey, they're even doing car loans longer than that now. I think you can get 10-year car loans now. Yeah. I get offers every time I log into my PayPal. They're trying to get me to borrow money. I mean, I get offers constantly, people wanting to loan me money. I don't get it. I never borrow any money, ever, so I don't know why they keep trying. They're persistent effers, though. I'll give them that. SBGA203 is the one I have. Let's pull that up. There we go. Absolutely. A spring drive puppy. Let's see what the dimensions are on that. And that one is 41 by 12.5. So decent size for an all-arounder. A little bit big to push into dress purposes, but depending on your use case, that might get her done for an all-arounder. Yeah. Let's see. That is correct. Credit card debt, student loan debt, and auto loan debt. Watch the default rates. If they start rising quickly, then that could be a predictor of a black swan event. Craig, look up the SBGE248. SBGE248. Let's pull that puppy up. Da, 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 da. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a stunner. But look at the price on that puppy. But yeah, that's a stunner, all right. Yeah. Let's see what the dimensions are on that. Yeah, 44 by 14.7. So it's basically the same size as the diver I have. That's almost the same thickness and everything. Maybe a little bit thicker than my diver, but very, very close. So yeah, that if you like a big watch, that'd be a heavy use, just like that one right there. That'd be a heavy use piece. Both of them are extreme use pieces. My gold calculation was for a Rolex Date 8 President. Yeah, which model though, RWAGs? They have different amounts of gold depending on the model, depending on if it's an older 36 mil Date 8 or a new 36 mil with the solid links, or of course a 40 would have more gold than any of those, right? A Date 8 40, bigger watch. We talked a lot about the debt, okay? GS rarely used solid gold hands or indices. If they are, you can see a star mark on the dial. I thought the star was just for the high quality 9F movement, the one that's rated at 5 seconds. I thought that's what the star was for. So anyway, I've seen write-ups about the 002, the SBGY002, that it does have gold indices and gold hands. But again, I mean, how accurate that this information is, who knows, right? But this watch here, I've read that those hands and the indices are 18 karat gold. And I actually sent an email to Steve asking him for clarification on that, and I haven't heard back from him yet. So I do not know for sure, 100%. It's never 100%. Even if Steve writes me back, he could get some false information and write back to me. You know, you never know, right? Until you tear the watch apart, I guess, and play with the hands and see if they bend easily. I don't know how you would know for sure. So yeah. Carlos says, remember not to bring expensive watches to toga parties. That would be a perfect party to bring this GMT to. The GMT could handle a toga party, absolutely. Chip, you're too early on the cash unless you're buying now or dollar cost averaging in. No 30% correction going to happen this year. I'd rather be early than late. I was early on the 2008 one too, but I still came out okay because, you know, sometimes when the crashes happen, you know, it's better to be a little early than late. And that's all I can say. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. See how it all plays out. Yeah. Okay, so I see Volvo has a program where you lease a car for life. Every year you get a new model. Yeah, I think there's several manufacturers starting to do things like that. So our wags, we are close to the bottom. David asking that question. Yeah, we'll see about all that. I think the honest answer is nobody really knows what's going to happen, but you know, I was already up significantly, and then over the last year or so. At the time I cashed out, I think I was up 35% in a year. So to me, that was okay. I only really count on getting about 10% a year. So I'm already ahead of the game, even if I have to wait a year for a huge pullback. I'm still going to be ahead of the game as far as the way I do math. Let's see here. The dial star is for the 5 seconds a year rating. Yes, yeah, on the quartz, on the 9F quartz units. I will bring my SKX or G-Shock, Carlos. Oh, to the toga party. Leia, different stars. Yeah, it's a different star. Okay. Check the SBGZ001. Okay, let's check that one. Oh, yeah, well, that's the platinum. I think that's the platinum unit. Yeah, I think that's different. Is that on the gold, on the gold version of that watch as well? Did they have that? Yeah, that's a different animal, I think. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. I don't think SBGY002 has solid gold hands. Leia in the house. Like I say, I've heard it said that it does, but again, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Wouldn't be a deal killer for me. If it looks great, that would not be a deal killer for me if they're not. Let's see here. JP Morgan came out today and made a bold call. They recommended to buy on the dip. Okay. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are buying these dips. JP Morgan thinks it's time to invest. There you go. All right. Solving the world's problems once again. So, again, if anybody gets any information on these watches we've been talking about, please either email it to me or, or put a comment on this video, because the more information we have, the better. Things like the actual dimensions, we've seen different numbers about how thick these watches are. Whether or not the 002 has gold hands, be nice to know. Whether or not the 038, the SBGX038 that we were talking about, hey, does it have gold hands? Let's pull it up again here real quick. This puppy right here. Okay, does that have gold hands? And what are the actual measurements? What are the actual measurements? Now, that has a star on the dial, by the way. What are the actual measurements of that watch? How thick is it? Okay? So it'd be nice to have some real accurate facts on some of these things. Carlos, a good thing of the virus is that plane tickets are cheap now, and I will be in California in a week. Excellent. Excellent. You can get plane tickets cheap. That's good. Absolutely, Carlos. And we're looking forward to seeing you here in Maryland. There's no coronavirus at Steve's place. Steve's place is a Little Treasury is a virus-free zone. So you don't have to worry about any viruses if you come there. So that's how that all works. Let me just refresh this here before we wrap this puppy up and make sure that we didn't miss anything. Yeah, okay, that looks good. And yeah, that was the most recent comment. So I think we're up to speed on comments. What time is it? It's 5:44, so we've been going for about, well, more than 44 minutes because we did start early. We started a couple minutes early, so we've been going for more than 45 minutes, and I think we may have resolved some issues, but we have some issues outstanding still. Come out to Las Vegas if you have time. David Williams inviting Carlos to come out, and get the VIP tour of Vegas. the VIP tour of Vegas. Hands are plastic wrapped in gold duct tape. Dub Row in the house. And lots of puppies. Okay, there you go. Carlos says, we do have cases in Panama. It seems that does not propagate well on hot climate. Yes, that's correct. I don't think it does good in the heat. In the heat. Turn the heat up. There you go. Turn the heat up. So I think we've kind of hammered out what we can hammer out right now. I think we just need more information at this point. Somebody just got an SBGV005. Well, that's a good move. That's a good move. And where did you get it, Robert? Let's pull this up. Timeless Luxury Watches has something on them. I don't. Why do they have that one upside down? Anyway, I guess that's the watch. There. So. See if I can find another photo here of the 005. Is that it? Well, here, I'm trying to pull up a photo. Yeah, there it is, over there on the right. That's a good looking watch. I think that does have a screw down crown. It's a nice looking piece. Let's see if I can get over here to this. It's on Pinterest. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's the pre-2017, with the Seiko at the top. So, yeah, good looking piece. eBay, yep. David, I'll be 1 day in San Diego and 6 in LA. No Vegas this time. Oh, well. Okay, may still see you in Maryland. There you go. David's going to come for the rendezvous, for the Maryland rendezvous. Robert says, it's my first high-end watch. Well, there you go. You stepped right up there. Absolutely. And I think it can be your last. That can be a lifetime piece there. How's it running? How's everything working out for you? How long have you had it? You said you got it off eBay. How long have you had it? How well is it running? And does that one have a screw-down crown? Does that particular model have a screw-down crown? Let us know in the chat. 38 times 10.9. SBGW258. Pull that up. Yeah, that's the one we've been talking about. Yeah, so there it is on the official Grand Seiko page. And let's see what they say. Yeah, they say 10.9 mils thick. So it is thicker than the 002 SBG. Let's check that one on their website and see what it is. The SBGY002. Give me a second. Hopefully I can pull it up on Grand Seiko and get the official number from them. And again, I don't know how accurate even these official numbers are. I mean, they might be accurate. See, this is saying 10.2 mils thick on this particular model. Now, I've heard people say 10.5, right? But Grand Seiko officially is saying 38.5 mils by 10.2. So if that's all true, then the 002, that's another reason to buy it, is it's thinner by a decent margin. Oh, it should be here tomorrow, and it does have a screw-in crown. Okay, so you haven't gotten it yet. Okay, cool. Well, let us know in the next show. Give us a full rundown. By the way, folks, make sure that you click the bell so you get a notification, and you can come on in the show. And so before we wrap up, I'm going to run right through what I've been showing here. Give me a second. Got to close some of these tabs of some of these other things we've been looking up. And then we can kind of get back to where we were here. Close that. Let me close this. Okay, so obviously we've been talking about the 002. Let me play a little bit of this from Time and Tide Watches again.
Shiojiri Dial Workshop, the snowflake aesthetic is achieved by employing an exclusive technique that involves applying multiple layers on top of one another to create a crisp, textured effect. The handset that sits atop the dial is also textbook Grand Seiko, finished to such an eye-wateringly high standard that you really do need a loupe to appreciate the craftsmanship on offer. And while the quintessential Dauphine hour and minute hands are hewn from yellow gold, the seconds hand is blue.
See, he says yellow gold there. So, who knows? Who knows? Okay, so let's go to the next tab. That was, we don't need that tab. And then, of course, here's the article that we talked about, the Hodinkee article. We talked about these three stunners. There's the 18 karat gold version. There's the platinum version. And here are all three: platinum, 18 karat gold, and then the high intensity titanium, that super hard titanium alloy. Those are the three ways that the watch is available. And then, of course, we compared those. We compared the gold one to the 002, which you just saw the video. So that's really what we've been doing here today and talking about this, because to recap from the video 2 days ago, I did get the phone call from the Stevester, and he said that the 002, that he's going to get two of them. He's going to get two of the SBGY002 18 karat gold stunner in stock. He's going to get two. And he says he's going to put my name down on one, so I'll get the first right of refusal on one of the two. And that's going to happen the end of this month, is how he phrased it. The end of this month. I don't know if that means the last day of the month. I don't know if it means during the last week of the month. And I don't know if it means that it could be a little bit later than that. I don't know. I just know that that's the information I have so far. And if I get any updates, if I get any new information, you folks will be the first to know here on the channel. You will be the first to know. So that's how that works. So click subscribe and click the little bell so that you'll get a notification. And I'm going to give you guys one more chance to put anything else in the chat that you want addressed here before we do absolutely wrap this broadcast up. While you're doing that, I'm going to be pulling up the app here on my phone.